Do you relate well to being spiritual and not religious? Are you looking to transform your life to have greater purpose and experience more joy and abundance? If you are, you've come to the right place. Welcome. I'm Neil Pinkman, the spiritual director for the Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey. Over the past 2 decades, our open and affirming, diverse community has helped countless people in the same way. Enjoy watching. If you like what you see, check us out at cslnj.org.
Chaos and noise, so I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. I find God, I find myself. I find God, I find myself. So once again, good morning. You don't think it's going to be quite so quiet to you. So, as always, we invite you to get up, move your body, get your warmth on, get that blood flowing. I want to say thank you for the way that I walk, thank you for the way that I talk, thank you for the songs that I sing. Thank you And thank you, Ty, Celine, and Richard. Good morning, one and all, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, where we are an open and affirming science of mind community, where the vibration of love lifts you, the wisdom of the ages inspires you, and the science of mind teaching empowers you. We believe that heaven and hell are states of consciousness that you experience in this lifetime, and that you are the architect of your life, and that it is never too late to know true happiness. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We have some people to thank this morning. I want to thank Neil for doing our meditation this morning. Our practitioner of the day, Reverend Michelle. And of course, our musicians, as I mentioned, Ty, Celine, and Richard. And you know who we never really thank? Joe Schneider for running our technology this year. Because without Joe, we wouldn't have all of you wonderful people on Zoom.
That's right.
Participating with us here in the sanctuary.
The Zoomies.
That's right. And for those of you who are in Zoom, I have to say, you are missing the absolute warmth we are experiencing here in the sanctuary. And I'm talking about the warmth of the love and camaraderie that we are sharing here. And that's about the only warmth that we're experiencing here this morning. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay. And I'd like to welcome all of the new people who are out there on Zoom and the new people who are here in this room today. Thank you for being here, and we hope that you enjoy this experience today and are really getting a lot out of this celebration. For we are celebrating indeed this teaching, celebrating the knowing, and celebrating all that comes as a result of it. And at this point in time, I'm going to turn it back to the musicians, and then Reverend Michelle will be doing our opening prayer. We are God's gift. I invite you to sing along when you find your voice. A unique expression of God's love, the manifestation of God's inspiration. I am God's gift, present of mind, a unique expression of God's love, the manifestation of God's inspiration. You are God's gift, present of mind, a unique expression of God's love, the manifestation of God's inspiration. We are God's gift, present of mind, a unique expression of God's love, the manifestation of God's inspiration.
Oh, the sweet breath that comes when you're moved and inspired with the vibration of the music in this room. Join me, please, in consciousness, setting an intention for possibility, for peace, for love to be the language that we communicate with, to remember who we are and to whom we belong, to be part of this powerful, positive, loving community, to grow the philosophy, to grow the intentionality, to grow love. Let each of us here online every member, every practitioner, our leadership. Let us walk, talk, act from love. Let love be that which guides us, inspires us, heals us, and holds us. I am so grateful for the Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for Reverend Neil, for the musicians, for all the activity today. And I trust the very vibration of this celebration most definitely makes a difference everywhere we go. Allowing that power and that presence that created us to be us in this moment. Let us feel the full surge of that power as change makers. To accept the responsibility that comes with it, to stand in that knowing, and to be potent beyond our imagination. For this and so much more, I am incredibly grateful. And I surrender this word, this holy and sacred word, to love, to law, and to the awe of life itself. And so it is.
So it is. We, you, I. We are God's gift, present of mind, a unique expression of God's love. The manifestation of God's inspiration. You are God's gift, present of mind, a unique expression of God's love. The manifestation of God's inspiration. I am God's gift, present of mind, a unique expression of God's love. The manifestation of God's inspiration. I am God's gift. Yes, and now it is time to read our April affirmation. If you're home at Zoom, it is pasted into the chat. If you're here and present, it is in your order of service. So either way, please read along with me. Every experience of my past has brought me to be the powerful, vibrant, and aware person I am today. I am who I am now because of my experiences, not in spite of them. I surround myself with family and friends who are supportive, compassionate, and help my spiritual growth. I am grateful for all of my past and all who support me in enriching my consciousness, and so it is. And now it is our...
Good morning. This has been a practice that we've had not since the beginning of our community, but many years later. And I can't remember what it was, but there was something that was going on in the country at that time when we decided we needed a peace practice. But I asked permission to tell a little story because there's this individual that I'm coaching right now. And he's been very upset, a lot of angst, a lot of anger. Anger's not bad. Get that message, I'm not saying that. And because anger is necessary to make change. It's a necessary part of transformation. So I want to be clear about that. But it was disarming him, and he was in so much upset. And so we had a session, and during that session, he remembered who he was, and he remembered his values, and he remembered the people that have influenced him, and he remembered that he wanted to be the presence of love. And so what happened was, the next rally that he went to, instead of being in costume and bringing a chainsaw painted with symbols on it, he brought his guitar. And he started singing songs, and the people around him joined in. And so instead of being that kind of a deliverer of more toxic energy, he was the deliverer of love and a stand for love. And the next time I spoke to him, he had a whole different experience. And that person was Ray Atkins. So I just want to say there are many ways to show up for what we're doing right now, for what's going on in the country. And remembering who we are, and remembering the love that we are, and the love that we're meant to bring is an important part of what we're doing. So please, and there's somebody in our Monday night class, and I don't know if anybody remembers who that is. They were the person who suggested that we add this new line that's in the peace practice. And if that person's online or here, you want to acknowledge yourself. I don't remember who said it. But so now we have 5 lines to the peace practice instead of 4. So please repeat after me, knowing that you are the place where love resides, and that you matter in all of what's going on. Please repeat after me. I am the peace I want to see.
I am the peace I want to see.
I know this peace for my family.
I know this peace for my family.
Your entire family, no exceptions. No exceptions. I know this peace for my community.
I know this peace for my community.
My community knows this peace for our country.
My community knows this peace for our country.
And my community knows this peace for the world.
My community knows this peace for the world.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, it's time for our reading. And no better place to start than the beginning. So right here, right on page 25, page 1 of the thing itself. We all look forward to the day when science and religion shall walk hand in hand through the visible to the invisible. Science knows nothing of opinion, but recognizes a government of law whose principles are universal. Yet any scientist who refuses to accept intangible values has no adequate basis for the values which he has already discovered. Revelation must keep faith with reason and religion with law, while intuition is ever spreading its wings for greater flights. And science must justify faith in the invisible. To suppose that the creative intelligence of the universe would create man in bondage and leave him bound would be to dishonor the creative power which we call God. To suppose that God could make man as an individual without leaving him to discover himself would be to suppose an impossibility. Individuality must be spontaneous. It can never be automatic. The seed of freedom must be planted in the innermost being of man. But, like the prodigal son, man must make the great discovery for himself. We see abundance in the universe. We cannot count the grains of sand on a single beach. The earth contains untold riches, and the very air is vibrant with power. Why, then, is man weak, poor, and afraid? The science of mind deals with these questions. The divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul. All instinctively feel this. The truth points to freedom under law. Thus, the inherent nature of man is forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. We do well to listen to this inner voice, for it tells us of a life wonderful in its scope, of a love beyond our fondest dreams, of freedom which the soul craves. But the great love of the universe must be one with the great law of its own being, and we approach love through the law. This, then, is the teaching, love and law. As the love of God is perfect, so the law of God also is perfect. We must understand both.
I am perfect as I am. I am God's unerring plan. Even broken parts of me make me who I'm meant to be. When I'm in my darkest place, something brings me to God's grace. And with tears and trembling hands, I remember whose I am. I am perfect as I am. I am God's unerring plan. Even broken parts of me make me who I'm meant to be. When I'm in my darkest place, something brings me to God's grace. And with tears and trembling hands, I remember whose I am. When my heart is broken wide, God is reaching deep inside, helping me to know my worth as I walk upon this earth. When I'm in my darkest place, something brings me to God's grace. And with tears and trembling hands, I remember whose I am. I am perfect as I am. I am God's unerring plan. Even broken parts of me make me who I'm meant to be. Perfect.
To be honest, when I walked in today and I looked at the room and I saw these beautiful flowers that are here in front of us, which is a funeral arrangement, I had wondered maybe somebody got a notice from my doctor that I wasn't aware of. But if this is a memorial service for me, please make it a roast, whatever you do. So, I just want to, a couple of things. before, Michelle mentioned before in the peace practice, I do want to bring out, there's a peace concert coming up. You're going to hear more about this. These flyers are on the back. Spread them around June 14th in the afternoon right in this room. It seats 220 people. I expect there to be 275. We'll struggle with the other 50. Okay? So spread the word. We have a nominal fee on that of $15. Kids are free. And it's time for peace. Thank you to all those people that marched yesterday and all the different places that you marched. That was fantastic. That was wonderful. And it's you know, last week we had our family and friends weekend, and I guess nobody liked us. They didn't come back. You know, but this is a beautiful teaching. This is a teaching that can really help people, and we're going to get into that more in a minute. But we need to get the word out so that more people are aware of this. We're not telling people, you know, what to think or what to believe. We're trying to help them do it better in their own way. And as part of that, and you'll see it on the back, this is the first time now in Natural Awakenings magazine, we actually have an ad for ourselves. Our membership team has done such a fantastic job of getting the word out that, you know, now they're putting up flyers for the peace concert. They did the family and friends. This is out, and right next to it, the magazine has agreed to do a spiritual corner, and the article there is by Reverend Michelle, that article next to it. So we have a lot going on. But for today, by the way, I must say I was telling the band here this morning that you know, CSL works in a certain way, and the title that I have, whether it's minister, spiritual director, spiritual leader, whatever, minister, whatever the titles are, that this morning I did find the perfect title for myself. And most of you are familiar with or may not even appreciate my use of humor. However, my new title now is stand-up philosopher. Okay, what do I do as a stand-up philosopher? I know. See, it's all part of the shtick here. What do? I coalesce the vapor of the human experience into a viable and logical comprehension. Well, actually, it was Mel Brooks who said all of that, not me, but I thought it was appropriate for me to be a stand-up philosopher. What are you doing here? Do you know where you are? The title of the talk today is, do you know where you really are? And it begs the question, what are you doing here? By the way, please, I love interactive talk. So if you have a question when this goes on, if something comes up and you go, whoa, wait a minute, speak up, all right? Just open your mouth. I know a lot of people in this room, and you're very good at that. So exercise it. And you know, why do I say that? It's you have to know where you are right now in order to get anywhere. Like I said, your navigation system in the car, not, you know, if you don't tell it where you're starting, you're not going anywhere. It won't give you direction, right? So we constantly have to know where we are. And one of the interesting ways, I have the privilege. Do you ever know, like, really brilliant people? Yeah, right? They come in handy, especially when you're married to them. And while I was helping Michelle edit her book and going over her new book, she's now on her third book. You know, one of the lines that I read in there is basically about questioning and doubt, right? And we talk about what do we know, right? What do we know? Now, and I'll get to it later too. Not what we believe, what do we know? And yet we still talk about questioning and doubt, right? And it, as she says in there, this is a great time to talk about two practices that might seem questionable at first. They are to question everything and doubt your certainty about what you think is true. Yep, doubt. There's a vast wealth of newness behind the parts of you that will be questioning, because we have unconsciously adopted the voice of the planet, right? So we need to constantly ask questions. We're here in a synagogue right now, and I know one of the things they say in Judaism is question it 100 times. And that's absolutely what we need to do. We need to keep questioning. We talk about opening up at the top, keep looking. And Ernest Holmes, who wrote The Science of Mind, that's what he did. And he would agree that we need to keep looking all the time and keep questioning. You have to do that in order to know where you are right now. What you know, what you believe, what you know, and where you're going to start from. And I think a lot of our centers across the country may be having that problem, that they're not questioning where they are and where they want to go. And we've done a good job of that, especially after this past year and the transition that we've had. This is the point is not to stay where you are, but to know where you are so that you can grow spiritually and in your own authentic way. And that's what we really want to be doing, to stay curious. It's all about curiosity, right? Curiosity comes in really handy, right? It also keeps us from judging, but it does. I'll try not to spill this one on me. But curiosity does equal growth and self-development for sure. And I brought, there's two textbooks up here on purpose. No cover. This used to look like this, right? I bought this textbook 16 years ago. And I have been through it so many times because I kept being more curious. I kept questioning. I kept wanting to know more. What is it that I need to know that I don't know? Where can I go from here? And it's an old friend, but one of the things you can see is that look at how many different color highlighters there are there. Try and use a different color all the time. I've sent a letter to the company trying to get different colors of highlighters now because I'm out. But so it hit me, and this is one of the reasons we want people to stay in class. This is the reason to stay going through, even though you say, oh, how many times have we done the textbook over the years, right? How many times have we done this? How many times have we run these classes? And right now, we've run classes on the Essential Ernest Holmes last time, and that was fantastic. And now we're running this thing called You, and the ideas that come out, the inspiration that comes out is fantastic because it renews the questioning in the mind of asking, what do I really know? What do I really believe? Where am I in all this? And that activity is what keeps you in spiritual practice. And spiritual practice is what we need to do all the time. And it pays off, not just in some, academic, ethereal conversation here about God. This is, and we say it all the time, this is a practical way. We're a safe place to know God. And this is an absolutely practical way of creating the life you want to live. But constantly being in that questioning is really important. And I'll give you an example. Even after all this, even after 16 years of doing that study and going to ministerial school and my practitioner training under that really strict woman who did the practitioner training here, you know. I mean, I learned a lot, you know. But I was in the middle of the Essential Ernest Holmes class, and I saw a post, and some of you, I've had this conversation in class, some of you know this. I saw a post of the sky, of the universe, right? Just a shot. And there's like nothing but white dots. It's all white dots. And when you look at it and say, where's Earth in there? But one of those little white dots was like our solar system, maybe. It's not even big enough to qualify to be a white dot in all of that. And here we are doing the Essential Ernest Holmes, and everyone was about God, and God this, and God that. And I thought, the vastness of this is incomprehensible. That we are we can't even identify ourselves as a little white dot. We're not even a big dot in our own solar system. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, if that's true, this is so vast. We're talking trillions and trillions of stars and space and places that'll take you 1 trillion years to go to, and these big empty holes that have nothing in them, you know. And I thought, okay, the Big Bang. If all this came from the Big Bang, what was it before it banged? It had to be huge. It had to be massive. If there's that much out there, what was all this stuff before it went bang? You can't even think about it. So I'm looking at this and looking at this, and one thought is more overwhelming and incomprehensible than the next thought. And I thought to myself, we're in this little tiny rock. We're floating around in this little tiny rock in the middle of all this stuff. How naive of me to think that I can define God, right? If God created everything, if all there is God, and this was God, and that's incomprehensible as well when you think of the enormity of the physical universe. And I thought, wow, what am I doing? I'm just making up my own little version of God. And I thought about that, and I thought, well, right here on this little rock alone, how many people do we have making up their own version of what God is? So, here's the payoff. I didn't care. What I came to was a really, really joyous, happy feeling that I have this teaching. That I have what I look at and that I can trust, and I can know that if I follow the core concepts and the principles involved here, that I can lead a peaceful, happy life and live it with no fear. And that whatever it is, I can call it whatever I want. And we know here, we don't care what you call it. You call it God, call it life, call it universe, call it light, whatever it is that you can relate to. Because what we do know is there's a power greater than us that created this. And we can use that power because we have that power to create the life we want. And that's where we get to, that's what I know. It's not what I believe, it's what I know. And that does allow me to live that life of having no fear. Okay, a little every now and then. I mean, I'm not perfect. You know, it does come up on certain things. And here's what Ernest Holmes refers to, the religious science. Science of Mind is the name of the book, Religious Science. He says that it is the correlation of the laws of science, the opinions of philosophy, and the insight of religion applied to the needs and aspirations of man. And that is so true, and that's why I read the first page of the thing itself, because that's basically him expounding a little bit on that statement. One of the questions that we had in our class for this week's class, we have partners to talk to, and Evelyn was my partner this week, and she asked me this question: what drew you to take this class right now? And the answer is, I'm not the same person I was yesterday, never mind 6 months ago. And I want to know and refresh and dig deeper into what I know and what my perspective is now, right? Because certainly I'm going through a lot of stuff. Everybody is in their lives. So to constantly ask that question and dig deeper into it is what really keeps us in the spiritual practice. So, because that's one of the things that has gotten, and I've mentioned this before, one of the things that gets me through any challenge that I'm going through is when something comes up and I'm really challenged by it, I ask myself a simple question. I take a breath, I ask myself the question, what do I know? What do I know? And the answer always comes back first to me. I know that everything happens for me. I know that God is not a punitive, judgmental, existence that's like gonna, there's heaven and hell or states of consciousness we believe in this lifetime, not condemn me to go to hell or anything. So what I know is that everything's happening for me, and if I get into the practice of questioning all the time, I can look at the situation and go, okay, why is this happening for me? Whatever it is that just happened, whether it's getting a traffic ticket or into an accident or some sort of a relationship breakup, or doesn't matter what it is. If you ask that question, what do I know, and you've done the work and the spiritual practices, you have an answer to that helps you get through it and know where you are and that you're okay. And then you can learn to grow from it in whatever way that particular lesson is going to happen. From Ernest Holmes, the ultimate goal of life does not mean that we shall ever arrive at a spiritual destination where everything remains static and inactive. That which to our present understanding seems an ultimate goal will, when attained, be but the starting point for a new and further evolution. In essence, what we may perceive as the ultimate goal in our present understanding is merely the beginning of a new and deeper level of growth and evolution. There's no done. We've arrived here, right now, wherever we are, right? This is it. This is all that it is. This is what helps us with our everyday lives. Because, as we've also said, this is eternity. Right now. This is it. If you don't get it here, you don't get it now, you miss it. Regardless of what your experience is, I've asked before, will you affirm life with me? And that means saying yes to all of life. This is what it is. I say what I know. This is where I am. I know where I am. And I know that there's more to come and more for me to learn. This has been helpful to me lately. As most of you know, I've been through some serious health challenges where all of a sudden you're sitting there and people are saying things to you, that it's sort of a surreal existence, right? So somebody says, well, You've got a rare form of cancer. Okay. There's no cure for this cancer. Okay. By the way, now we found out surgery is not an option. All right. This is spread to your liver. Okay. And the last one was, well, the treatments really aren't working. So what happens is, I go through these experiences, and what it is at first a very surreal existence. It's kind of like, no, this is something that happens to other people, not to me. This is something that I see in a movie or on a TV show. This isn't me. This is one of those things where you're watching a show and somebody comes in and says something to somebody like that, and you go, oh, that must feel awful. I wonder what that feels like. That's like, and you're projecting and trying to relate to it. But the beautiful part about what we do here, the beautiful thing that happens when you do and you stay in the class, is that as soon as you get in there and you go through that surreal experience, you stop and go, what do I know? I know this is happening for me. I know there's something coming here that's going to be beautiful and wonderful. And that's true. That's what's happening. And having that perspective can get us through anything that comes up in our lives. Anything. We can handle any challenge. We can handle any news. Whether it's joyous or whether, you think to yourself, ugh, I didn't want to hear that. Doesn't matter. We have the tools. We have the ability to do this, right? And by the way, when I say their treatments, it's not the same as ours. Our treatments are working. And that's the best part that we have here. I know I have to accept what is and where I am in order for me to be okay. I tried not doing that a couple of years ago. It didn't work well. Then I finally woke up and said, okay. I kept saying, no, this can't be happening to me. And then one day I said, holy stuff, that is happening to me. I guess I better pay attention and check out what I know. And it really did help. What I do know is there's a continuum of consciousness, and this is just one stop on the way. I know there are different levels. We're upward spiraling, and whatever comes next, we're going to find out. But the more that we do, the more we look at ourselves and look at our lives and know where we are. As we say, how do you know? We look at our consciousness. What's our consciousness? And we say, how do we know what our consciousness is? Anybody remember the answer to that question? How do you know what your consciousness is right now? I know there's somebody out there that knows the answer.
Look at your life.
Look at your life. Okay. Look at where you are. Look at your life. That tells you what your consciousness is. And if you don't like what your life is, then you know that your consciousness has to shift and has to change. You can't out-demonstrate your consciousness. We've said that many, many, many times for decades. Right here. And that's what tells us. So let me just give you a couple more things from this teaching to wrap this up. This all from this thing called you that we're doing now in this class. This is the story of your life, of everyone's life. Just keep right on knocking on the doorway of your consciousness until every no becomes a yes, every negation an affirmation, every fear a faith. Life will be to you what you are to it. Of necessity, there is a divine pattern at the center of everything. This is the Christ in you, waiting for your recognition. Somehow, you must link your will, your thought, your intellect, and your imagination, and your feeling with the divine presence, which is already there. This is the Christ consciousness in you. And finally, I thought these were great words. It's not necessary to spend your entire time in prayer and meditation. Rather, seek to make your work a prayer, your believing an act, your living an art. It is then that the object of your faith will be made visible to you. It is then that you shall kiss the lips of your desire. Thank you. Let's take this into prayer. As the day started with gratitude, I continue in that gratitude, and so grateful to know that what has opened up for us, opened up before us because of the words of so many different wonderful people, that we know the presence of this divine mind, this divine spirit. We know that there's one. We know that there is one mind that expresses and lives and breathes through each of us individually as unique and exquisite individuals. That all that comes through us is good and very good because it comes from source. It comes from God. It comes from that place that is good and very good all the time. There is no doubt, there is no fear in the mind of God, so I know that that does not exist in me either, and that any sense of that is an illusion of separation from that divine mind. And what I do know is that I am here right now. I do know that I have a deep faith in that all good. That I have a wonderful knowing that everything is happening for me. What I love is the fact that this is just not for me as an individual, or for each and every being on this plane. So I look forward to the next moment, and the next moment after that. And I trust, and I love the uncertainty of not knowing what's coming next, but being able to rest in that foundation of trust and confidence in the one mind. Life is good. Life is love. And I am so very grateful to be here right now, enjoying the love of this community and of everyone who's helped spread this wonderful and incredible, joyous word. So I release, I surrender, I let go, and I allow this word to go into and from the power and presence, the love and the law in that wonderful gratitude. Please join me in saying, and so it is.
It's a beautiful song that we've received from Brass McKenzie back in 2008. It's been a minute. It's a beautiful song to bring back, especially after this talk. Whenever I remember, whenever. God is me, and I am God. I am God, and God is me. There's only one whenever I remember, and one is love whenever I remember, and love is me whenever I remember. God, whenever I remember. God, whenever I remember. God, whenever I remember. God.
That was beautiful. Now is the time when we acknowledge our community, we give back to our community, knowing that what we give comes back to us. And if you are here, there are envelopes in the back and a little basket where you can make your contribution. And whether you are here or you are at home, giving to our center is a breeze. And if you want to know how to do that via breeze, via text, the instructions are in the chat, or if you're here, they're actually in your order of service. So you can text your donation to us. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. But let us now at this time repeat after me or read along with me our conscious giving affirmation. I bless this gift that I give today. I give this gift from my heart, and I give it mindfully. May my gift go further to heal, prosper, and bless this center and all who enter. I accept all good that comes as a result of this flow, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. We have some opportunities to discuss. Reverend Neil mentioned earlier that we had our Bring a Guest Sunday last week, and it apparently didn't work because nobody showed up. And next week, I hope nobody shows up, because next week we're only on Zoom. So and it's going to be our Phoenix Shedding, our annual Phoenix Shedding talk that is going to be given by Tony Hamilton. And the following week will be Phoenix Rising, another annual talk. And if you haven't figured that out, that correlates with Palm Sunday and Easter Sunday. Yes, that time is upon us. So those are very inspirational talks that we have each year. So look forward to that. Tomorrow and every Monday that we have coming up, we have this thing called You, which is next in our series, and you can still join us for that. This is one of Ernest Holmes' most beloved books on the principles of science of mind, and as Reverend Neil mentioned, we are having a lot of fun in this series, and it'd be wonderful to get a large group together to go deeper into using this principle in our lives. And that's actually has been going on since March 24th, so you can register online at a link that Joe is posting right now, or Neil's posting it, sorry. It's being posted, and if you have any questions, check your order of service, and Reverend Michelle would like to say a few words.
I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Last week, because of this community, you donated socks and shoes and clothes and backpacks, an enormous, I was a little overwhelmed packing the car, and it cost me a small fortune to ship it, but I'm grateful because I also got a donation from someone unexpected that took care of the cost. Wow. So we sent an enormous amount of things to this school. They are incredibly grateful because we've emailed, and they'll get it Tuesday, so hopefully I'll get more communication. But I just wanted to thank you, because without you, it would not have happened. And, you know, just when we think life is tough, you look around and you see somebody's got it tougher.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful. I'm just grateful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you indeed. All right. Also, as Reverend mentioned, on June 14th, we will have our peace concert. Yes, indeed. Which I took a quick glance at the flyer, and it is called All We Are Saying.
All we are saying.
All We Are Saying. I wonder where that title comes from. I guess we're going to give peace a chance, right? Okay. Flyers are on the back of the table if you want to check that out. You can also register at a link that Neil is posting or has already posted. And if you would like to have a specific class or book study offered, please let us know. You might enjoy hosting one in your home or co-leading it with someone. Prayer, meditation, listening, networking. Tuesday, April 1st, starts 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's free. Registration is required. Again, check the link if you're on Zoom. And we have people who sponsor every Sunday. And does anybody know when is a good time to sponsor a Sunday? Right now. So right now is a great time to sponsor a Sunday. And we know from your feedback that you do like to meet in person every week. And we're getting close to be able to do that. So please consider helping us achieve that goal. You can sponsor a Sunday. The cost to do that is $150. For the low, low price of $150, you too can sponsor a Sunday. And we thank you for loving your community in this way. If you want to be in closer communication with our center, we now have a group on WhatsApp. If you don't know what WhatsApp is, well, go to your app store in your phone and check that out. It is a fantastic group chat, not unlike something you may have heard recently called Signal. But it's, hey, it is what it is, right? So anyway, and last but not least, those who were affected by the fires in Southern California are still in need of help, and you can find the link to donate that in our newsletters and in the chat. And with that, we have one more song from Ty?
Yes.
All right, there we go.
Another solemn, beautiful, mindful, introspective song, but you gotta stand up for it. You didn't think we were gonna let you go that easy, did you? Someone actually requested this last week. Wall to wall, the vibe is high, we lift it up, spirits fly, pure and simple reason why. Love is in the room, spirits moving all the time, dancing diamonds, sparkle shine. What's that feeling so divine? Sing it. Love is in the room, sing in the rhythm. Let yourself go. Free from prison. Go for what you know. Love is in the room. Love is in the room. You are the gift that God imparts.
the Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, we believe in empowering individuals to discover their inner strength and their connection to divine life. Through our supportive community, transformative workshops, and uplifting services, we provide a safe space for personal growth and spiritual exploration. Whether you're seeking clarity, healing, or a deeper understanding of life's mysteries, our center offers practical tools and timeless wisdom to help you thrive. Join us in creating a more diverse, compassionate, and kind world. Your world, the way you want to create it.